my hip thrust. What is up? It's your boy Johnny Street Vive, BB Pro, Mr. Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to an episode of Train With Me. Today, guys, we're gonna talk about some common dumbbell bicep mistakes you guys are still making, because I see them in videos, I see them in my clients' videos, I see them everywhere, and we're gonna fix this shit right now. The dumbbell is such a very versatile piece of equipment. And I know there's some parts of certain exercise that it doesn't really have much weight, but if you use them properly, this thing can go miles, especially bicep work. Bicep all day with dumbbells. Love dumbbells, I love biceps. Love dumbbells and I love biceps. I love them. And together, it's like ebony and ivory. Whatever, all right? Number one, stop picking up weight that's way too heavy. My theory is this. Yes, we understand that there needs to be a load to stimulate muscle growth. Anything for hypertrophy, anything between like 30 to 75% of 1 rep max. Obviously, the heavier you go, the less frequent you can train. The lower you go, the more it's not really gonna do much, right? So we wanna find that happy medium. But for me, I believe that there are certain muscle groups that require certain loads, in theory. So hear me out. I think the chest, the back, the legs can take a heavier load for a long duration, right? So like say 75% of 1 rep max, maybe even sometimes 80 for like legs, you know, back, whatever. When it comes to something like biceps and triceps, like alone, you know, shoulders, I think you can start to peel back on the load a little bit. So like maybe 50% of 1 rep max. Reason being is some of these movements we're doing for biceps, the reason why people can't figure it out is because they're lifting way too much to start. They're too focused on getting the weight up and not how the weight is actually moved. So for me, I use between 30 to 40 pounds. I used to swing around weight, just like the beginning of this video. Just swinging around like crazy, and that didn't do much for me. Now I'm getting better gains and a better stimulus lifting lighter. So just for coaching purposes, I'm gonna grab good old 25s. All right, now, it doesn't matter how we do these movements. Whether you do a supinated curl with one hand, a supinated curl with two hands, a hammer curl with one hand, a hammer curl with two hands, Zotman curls, reverse curls, these tips and cues are gonna be very similar or transferable for all of those variations of bicep curl. Now, number one, it's standing too wide and sometimes standing too narrow. Too wide means that we have to literally go around our body to pull this weight up. Too narrow means we're kind of like almost tight roping. So remember guys, setup is crucial. Setup can be just as easy as how you're standing. And I recommend just like my cue when I talk about doing a conventional deadlift. Do a circle, jump in the air. Look at me, like this is me naturally, look at my feet landed. You don't, I want to see everybody in the damn gym every time they do bicep curls, do a damn circle, jump in the air. Y'all think crazy. You don't want to do that. I'm just saying, just do it one time. You should be able to figure it out if you do it once. If you're sitting there spinning around in circles for an hour, you haven't figured it out yet, nothing I can do for you, right? I'll make a video on how to spin around in a circle and jump out in the air and land on your feet to get your stance. Regardless, you should be able to do it one time. And here you are. Basically, easiest saying, an athletic position. Here you go. All right, now, when we have our dumbbells, regardless of what you're doing, hammer curls, supinated curls, one arm, two arm, alternating, whatever it is, you wanna make sure the shoulders are back and away from your ears, just like everything else, back and away from your ear. We don't want them here, we want them so far back this way either. We ain't trying to do, I mean, this could be a curl. Maybe not. Either way, shoulders back and away from your ears. Not gonna stay from the side because most of the time when people curl, they get things mixed up. Number one, let me just like, you know, set the record straight. This is fine. My elbows, this is fine. Right, see where my elbows are? This is fine. And this is fine too. This is fine. And this is fine as well. What isn't is this. Or this. You see the difference? One, my shoulders are staying in the position the entire time. The other ones, my shoulders are doing a way too much stuff. So guys, when we're doing bicep curls, I want you to understand that we want to be in a shoulder depressed posture. We want to be here. And the easiest way for that, guys, is literally let gravity do it for you. Let these dumbbells lower your shoulders for you. If you feel your shoulders or traps are getting tired, it's because you yourself are elevating them and making your shoulders actually work. So let the weights and gravity do the job for you. Let them depress your shoulders. And now while we're in this position here, we're gonna do it even more. We're gonna push down slightly. That way our arms are completely straight. We want full stretch because our full range of motion is gonna come from here to here, or here to here. It starts from here, not here. So when you're doing curls, don't get to here and stop. Your full range of motion from here all the way up, or from here all the way up. Now, so again, this is fine, this is fine. This is not fine. When the shoulders are shrugging up, when you gotta do this and curl in and you're doing all this body English. So what we're gonna do to prevent that is, again, letting the weights drop to the floor themselves, and then we're gonna push our shoulders down even more. And then when we are curling, we're gonna continue to push the shoulder down. Now I'm thinking more so of pushing my elbow down. So I'm here, I wanna do this. So when I'm pulling it up, my elbow still stays down. Even if I curl and come all the way up like this, which is fine, at least it's still down. We don't wanna come up and pull like this. So when we're doing a curl, the elbow stays to the floor, right? Now, again, there's nothing wrong with doing your curl here with your elbows back. If you wanna make it harder, when you're curling, we're gonna push the hands or the elbow to the front of our body and then curl up if we're doing supinated curl, or the same if we're doing a hammer curl. This is gonna make it harder than being back here. Here is harder than here. There's nothing wrong with either or. Now, just a quick one for you guys. If you wanna do like a supinated curl, right? We're doing these, and then you wanna do a mechanical drop set, you would go from, starting from here and doing them here, and then your mechanical drop set would be back here and then doing like this. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, the biggest thing is making sure that we keep our keep our shoulders down on the floor, so when we're curling up, we don't have your trap riding up. It's just super simple to understand, guys. Your traps do this. Your upper traps, just to make it super simple, they do this. And then they also help do this. What they don't do is this. So if you see your traps doing some stuff in the mirror, it's because you're not focusing, with intention, and you're thinking too much about pulling this thing up instead of depressing the shoulder and then pulling with your bicep. So now that we have this thing figured out, we're sorted out. There is nothing wrong again with pulling like this. The issue is more so doing dumbbell curls like this, or having everything pop up this way, and which leads into the next mistake you guys make, is way too much hips. If you want to make this extremely hard, let's say extremely hard, if you want to make this the most beneficial and the most efficient, stop using your hips for everything. Which brings me to the next point, stop moving so much hips, stop swinging the weight. This isn't gonna do anything for you. All it's gonna do is gonna take away from your ability to actually contract the muscle, while momentum from your hips takes everything. If you think about it this way, knockouts in boxing matches, MMA, they come from the hip. They don't come from your fist. Yes, of course, your fist kick, the face knocks you out, but the generated force and power comes from here. That's why you can whap and knock somebody out. Try one of those things, those little punching bags at the, what are those called? Those play areas. You guys got one of those arcades, whatever, and they got that cool punching bag you punch, and then, the score comes up, right? Do me a favor, just literally stand still and just do this with it. You're gonna punch terribly. punch with like your hip, that thing's gonna ding, 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 all the tickets in the world are gonna come out, right? Reason why? Because your hips generate the power, they generate the force. It's good for sports, good for functionality, but when we're doing like something like isolated work for your biceps, there's not much we wanna do other than curl with the bicep. Cause like being in this video, put it this way here. Let me see, we got 70-pound dumbbells, my arm is still tired. I can't, let me just show you guys. Here we go. I'm gonna buy. All right, this is me trying to exercise. This is dumb as fuck. I'm gonna try and bicep curl this with good form, right? I'm gonna. Yeah, it's not coming up any day. Whew, not at all, but here we go. Oh, look at that. Look, oh my God, look, I'm gonna get about like 10 reps in here, just doing this. From this moving my hips, and I'm not even moving that hard. Like this is my hips. I'm just generating that much force with my hips to pull it up. But after I've like swung my hips, my contraction isn't really happening until like it's halfway up. So if we're looking at like getting the most amount of the exercise and isolating the muscle, I've taken away half of the rep and put it into my hips. So if you guys are out there like, oh man, my biceps, they don't get big, I'm struggling, my genetics, and I see you in the gym just throwing the weight up, that's probably why. You're missing the mark. Lower the weight. Lower the freaking weight to a weight that you can control, that you can sit here and be like, Johnny, I'm training biceps today. I'm like, what kind of biceps are you doing? I'm doing like a form of drag curls in a bit. My elbows are gonna stay a little bit behind me because, you know, it's a little heavier, but for me, this is my bicep curl, my hammers. And I'd be like, damn bro, those look really good. Then I'd be like, yo man, you know a really cool way to make it even harder? Get the elbow a little bit in front of you when you start curling. I'm like, really Johnny? Let me try that. Ooh, dang, that's way harder than before. Does it work the same way with supinated curls too? His name's Jim. It sure does, Jimmy. Let me try that. Hold on a sec. I've been doing like this and I've been working on keeping my shoulders depressed and this works really good. Now I'm gonna try it your way. Hold on a second. Let me push it in front of me here and like, oh man, that is way harder. Dang, Johnny. Whew, this is burning. This feels great. Hold on a second. Ah, okay, it's my bad, Johnny. Sorry. I get the shoulders down, and keep that right on the biceps the entire time. That's how you want to curl. Find a way that you can use, that you can curl with intention, controlling the weight up, and then controlling it down. Move it slower, literally. These are 25 pounds that I can easily manage, and when I'm curling, I can flex the way up and flex on the way down. And that's another thing we need to do, this is closing off on my last point, which is flex your muscle. I think biceps might have been one of the first muscles we have all flexed. Literally, when we were kids being like, look at me, my biceps are big. We do one of these things, right? We've been able to do pull-ups when we're kids. Flex your muscles. Everyone knows how to do this. A lot of people are doing this a lot, picking things up, opening, whatever it is. So an easy way to connect with this is literally go like this and flex. Flex your bicep. Just flex your bicep. Do this. Just keep flexing it. This is what you should be doing while you pick the dumbbells up. So when you pick up a weight, you don't have to pick up a heavy ass weight. You can pick up a moderately heavy weight and you can flex your bicep on the way up and flex on the way down. Flex your bicep on the way up and flex it on the way down. That's gonna make this a lot harder before you have to even add any more onto this. So before we start swinging away at the weights, let's check things off. Let's make sure we're setting up properly. Our feet are shoulder width apart. Grabbing a dumbbell that you can control, and while it's in your hands, letting the weight naturally depress your shoulders. Leaving your shoulders back and away from your ears. Then when you're curling, there's no problem with curling like this and having your elbow slightly behind. There's drag curls with barbell, and there's drag curl with a dumbbell. Completely fine. What we want to avoid is this. Now, while we figure those things out, we want to flex and do it slow. Flex the muscle up and flexing it down. That is a key point most of you guys are missing. You're just pulling the weight up and pulling it down. I want you guys to think of flexing the bicep, flex it on the way up and flex on the way down. Think of that the entire time you're working out, and then tell me in the comment section below that, Johnny, this shit changed my life. I promise you it will. Focus on that literally in the rest of this video as well too. Make sure you guys are flexing. And guys, for my recommendation, if you want to hit the entire bicep, super simple, super easy. Do a version of bicep curls supinated. You can do them either unilateral, one at a time, or unilateral but alternating, completely fine. And then add in some hammer curls, right? If we're looking at, take a look at my biceps shaped. If I go supinated, right, you can see how my biceps shaped. From here to here, supinated. And if you look at it now, hammer, the shape, it changes. Because now the emphasis not only goes from the bicep, but now it goes to the brachioradialis, so this part of your arm right here. So to continue this and make sure you have a fully balanced bicep, you want to train supinated and hammer as well. You can do reverse if you want to, but for me, I recommend hammer, and you get this entire bicep looking nice, full and complete. But also guys, do not forget your triceps, and that'll be the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you try these cues, let me know in the comment section below. And until next time guys, you know what it is, iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing.